This is Observer of Anomalous Objects. Get ready to have your mind blown as we talk about UFOs and UAPs.
Well, welcome to my show, Observer of Anomalous Objects, and I want to tell you how much I appreciate you being here to watch this. I thought I'd make a quick update video talking about the upcoming hearing that's going to take place in the Senate on Wednesday, April 19th. And the reason I decided to do this video is I had sent a tweet out to Lou Elizondo asking him to clarify what we should expect from this hearing, because I'm afraid that there are a lot of people on UAP Twitter, or a lot of people who are interested in this subject, that they're going to be disappointed, because I think they have unrealistic expectations of what's going to come out of this meeting. And so I thought I'd just talk about it. But before I talk about what we should and shouldn't expect out of it, I'm going to go ahead and kind of mention who got it going and who's going to be there that I know of. Well, it came from Senator Gillibrand, and then also Mark Rubio. I believe Gillibrand's going to be the one who's hosting it. And the person that they've called in to talk, and I'm hoping there's more than one, but the one I know for sure is Dr. Sean Kirkpatrick, the director of AARO. And so he's supposed to come in and talk to them about different things related to the AARO office and what they've discovered. Now, there are some limitations in this meeting. And so let me say, first of all, one of the things we shouldn't expect is absolute honesty. And the reason I say that, and I was very disappointed to find this out, is that they're not going to swear in Dr. Kirkpatrick, and probably no other witnesses or no other people that they're talking to, which is sad, because what happened with the first hearing in the House, Moultrie and Bray were not sworn in. And many people believe that they misled Congress, and if they had done that under oath, that would have been a crime. That would have been an absolute crime. And so I'm disappointed that they're not swearing in Kirkpatrick, but I'm going to kind of give him a kind of a clean slate. I've heard some people say some really good things about Dr. Sean Kirkpatrick, but I would feel a whole lot better about it if he was sworn in, because there would be consequences for lying or misleading the Senate. And so one of the things we cannot expect is absolute honesty here, because there's no way to force them to be honest if they're not under oath. Now, the other thing I don't think we should expect is any news in the open hearing about crash retrieval or legacy programs. I think maybe possibly in the closed session of this hearing, there's going to be an open and a close, which ironically they're doing the closed part first and then the open part of the session second, at least according to the sources that I listen to, is that that's supposed to be the way it is. And so maybe that'll set the framework for the open hearing. Maybe it's actually an advantage. It seems kind of awkward. It seems like putting the cart ahead of the horse, but maybe that'll kind of open the door for what they can reveal in the open hearing, and they can figure out where the lines are so that they don't cross it. And so maybe, just maybe, I'll be a little optimistic right here. Maybe we'll get a little bit more because they're doing it that way. That is, if my sources that I'm talking about, that have put it on Twitter and other places and said that's how the meeting's going to go. Now, I just want to make sure that we don't get false expectations. We know the whistleblowers have been talking to AARO. We know that at least 3, 4, and probably more whistleblowers have come forward. I suspect that number is much higher. But we should not expect to hear of their testimony, because that's stuff that's protected by an NDA, a non-disclosure agreement. So I don't really expect to hear that. But here's what I believe we should expect. We should expect that our senators are ready. We should expect that they learned from what took place in the House hearing, and they basically got their ducks all in a row. and they're ready this time with the right questions. Hopefully, they've researched the questions that they need to ask. And so I think we should expect our senators, Gillibrand and Rubio and the others that are going to be there, to ask good questions, well thought out questions as well. Another thing I think we should expect is that they will frame the questions in such a way that you can't weasel out of them. You can't leave with a vague answer. And so what we should expect, what I'm expecting anyway, is that they will be yes and no type questions where they either confirm something or they deny it. And like I said earlier, if they were under oath, I'd feel a lot better about that. And if he doesn't say yes or no, that's going to be telling as well. Now, one of the things I did want to mention about the closed hearing going first, I think that's going to be telling. If we look at the demeanor of the senators after they come out of that closed meeting, the closed session, and they look kind of irritated, they look kind of uptight, then it's probably going to be an indication that we're not going to get anything out of the open hearing, because they probably didn't get a whole lot out of the closed session. And so I don't think we'll get a lot. On the other hand, if they come out smiling, which I'd love that part of it, if they come out smiling, that would be awesome. Or they can come out with like big eyes, like they really got some profound information that they didn't know about. I don't necessarily know that that would be legacy programs, because I think they already know about the legacy programs. I think they are convinced that there is crash retrieval and that there is reverse engineering. Otherwise I don't understand why they would write those things into the 2023 NDAA, National Defense Authorization Act. I don't know why they would do that. To me, when I looked at the provision, which I looked at it and read it under the UAP provision, that section of it, I was like, man, I think these guys are on the hunt. I think they're after a dog on a scent, and they're after something. Especially when I read them talking about material retrieval and reverse engineering. And I know a year ago, 2 years ago, people were saying, that's all science fiction. But I believe it's science fact. I think there's been enough people who've come out and basically said, yes, there is crash retrieval, and yes, we have been working on things. And so that kind of goes back to Bob Lazar. I know some people don't believe him. They think he's full of crap. But he's one of the first people I can remember that talked about the government having crash retrieval and reverse engineering. And so you can hold whatever position you want on that. But to me, the more I listen to Bob, the more I believe Bob, And so anyway, so I think that's another thing we can look at. I think we can expect that we will know more after the meeting, the hearing, than we knew before. But the question will be, how much more will we know? That's really the thing that I can't answer right now. I'm hoping we know a lot more, but I'm cautious. And I've said this before, I think we need to stay even keel. I think one of the things that's absolutely killing UAP Twitter, besides all the vitriol that's going on and all of the people putting hoax on there, the bunkers, the trolls that are on there, I think the other thing that's absolutely killing UAP Twitter is this emotional roller coaster that we've been on. We get so excited. First hearing, everybody was going, wow, we're going to get it. We're going to get the goods. We're going to hear something profound. And then what happened? It's like they let the air out of the balloon. Took the air out of the room. I mean, it's just like people were depressed and disgruntled over it and disillusioned over it. And then when we got the objects that were shot down, I remember, you look back at my tweets, I warned people that I didn't think they were UAPs in the sense that we think of UAPs as in flying saucers and NHI, non-human intelligence. But it turned out to be a nothing burger, at least as far as we know. I mean, because they said they were commercial objects. Now, I do have to say this. I don't believe they were UAPs like what was seen from 2004 and also I think 2015, the stuff that broke in 2017. I don't think it's at that level. I don't think these craft had the same maneuverability. They didn't seem to have the same high tech. And the fact that they were shot down, I think also might indicate that these were truly some other objects. But their explanation for them, it just doesn't make any sense. There's something fishy here. And I think you've probably caught on to that already yourself. I mean, they shot down the Chinese balloon. We have pictures all over the place of that. But the question is, why don't we have any pictures of the crash retrieval from those ordinary crafts? I mean, there wasn't just like one of them were shot down. There were 3 of them. And we have nothing to show for that? I mean, does that make sense to you? It certainly does not make sense to me as well. Now, something we might expect out of this meeting is that there maybe will be some clarification. There may be some clarification about what these objects are, but it'll probably be limited. But like I said, I think what we can expect is that we will know more after April 19th than we do today. And once again, how much more that is to be determined. But if you're expecting pictures of flying saucers, if you're expecting proof of crash retrieval and reverse engineering, you're going to be very, very disappointed. Now, I did hear on one of the other broadcasts that, I can't remember who it was that said it now, but in the next 6 months, we can expect, it was Gary Nolan, we can expect to know more. And so my expectation is that we'll get more from the whistleblowers and things leaking from what they've said or from other people coming out. I think we're going to get more from that than we will from this hearing. And so if you're going to get excited, don't get excited for April 19th, or don't get too excited for it. If you're going to get excited for what's going to happen in the next 6 months, according to Dr. Gary Nolan. To me, he's a credible guy. I don't think he's flippantly going to say something just to say it. I think it's probably true. And so I think we can get excited about that, but let's just stay even kill. Let's not get the birthday cake out. Let's not get the balloons and the ribbons and decorate the room and get too excited. If we're going to do that, let's wait until after April 19th. And if there's a reason to celebrate, you know what? Let's just break everything out and let's have a party. But until then, let's be cautious. Let's stay even killed. Let's say reserved in our expectations. Have a great day. Thank you for watching this video.